Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today, doing a breakdown video for Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios as they compete in a welterweight clash on Saturday, February 5th in the main event, of a FOX pay-per-view card. Now, I know a lot of people are probably upset, as I was when they first heard the announcement that it's going to be on pay-per-view, but you know what? Hey, it's actually a pretty solid undercard. Go check out the undercard for this fight. For this whole card, on February 5th. It's gonna be pretty damn good. So if I was you, go check it out. I don't know if I'm buying it yet. I ain't gonna lie. I got just depending on how much cash I got coming in and what's going on that day. But we'll see. But I mean, yeah, it's actually a pretty damn good card. But to the main event, you got Keith Thurman returning off of what's almost a 2.5-year layoff to take on Mario Barrios, who's making his debut at 147. Interesting battle here. It really is. It is somewhat of a crossroads clash for both guys. For Keith Thurman, he's trying to keep his name strong in the welterweight division to lock up those bigger fights, and keep himself relevant at the top of the division, And you have Mario Barrios, who is a young fighter coming off the knockout loss to Gervonta Davis that was highly competitive. I love how people aren't mentioning that, they just say, oh, he lost. That was a highly competitive bout. That was a close bout on the scorecards. Barrios was definitely into that fight, and he got stopped, but it was a really good fight right there. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in this fight, because it's experience versus youth, and it's a good style clash, to be honest. I really did think the styles are good. But after 2.5 years, what kind of Keith Thurman are we going to see? So with the breakdown videos, again, I ask all the questions, start with the favorite, move on to the underdog, and I fully break down this fight and give my prediction at the end. So let's jump in. We start with the favorite, Keith one-time Thurman. Now, what has Thurman done rolling into this fight? And the truth is, nothing. 2.5 years since he fought Manny Pacquiao. And he came up short that night, losing a close split decision, the first loss of his career. First half of the fight, he pretty much got outworked and dominated, got put down by Pacquiao. Second half of the fight, he fought a lot better. He won a few rounds. I personally didn't think it was close enough to call a split decision. I kind of had it 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3 area, plus the knockdown. So I had Pacquiao winning comfortably, but the judges saw it the way they saw it. But Thurman did fight his ass off in the second half of the fight. He really did. He made a good comeback in that fight, so I don't want to deny him of that. But he clearly lost, and he lost his world title that night. But since then, he's done nothing, and now he has to prove against Mario Barrios that he still has what it takes. Will he prove that or not? That's the big question. We'll see. What kind of fight? What kind of stamina is he going to have? Is he going to be ready to go 12 hard rounds? Is his power going to be too much? Is he past it? Is he going to be too slow? Is he going to be too rusty? We don't know. Those are a lot of questions that Keith Thurman needs to answer on fight night. What kind of fight does Keith Thurman need to have to win? To be honest, Thurman needs a box. If he learned anything from the Gervonta Davis fight, is when Davis boxed, is when he took the fight over, when he won his boxing. And Thurman is long, and he's tall, and for welterweight, he's taller, and I think he needs to use his reach. He needs to use his height, use his reach, and he needs to break down Mario Barrios in this one. He really does. And use his boxing ability. Height and reach only go so far, but boxing ability, his ring IQ. He is the veteran, and he has the ring IQ, the experience, and he needs to bring that into this fight, and he needs to try to dominate, with that. And then maybe towards the, take some chances, of course, but don't get into a firefight with a guy, because Barrios, that's what he wants. He's young, and he wants a firefight. He wants this to be a knockdown, drag down fight, because you know what, if you learned anything, if he learned anything from Thurman's fight with Josecito Lopez, that was almost a 2-year layoff, he should know that Thurman struggles when he's in there in a fucking dogfight with a guy like that. So you know, Thurman really needs to have a slower start, box, get some rounds in, you know, really pile up the rounds by the halfway point. That way, if he needs to coast in the second half of the fight, he can coast. Or if he's doing enough damage and breaking him down, he can finish breaking him down without running out of gas. So that's what he needs to do to win. Can Keith Thurman win by knockout? You know, the thing about Thurman, he's always had pop. He's always had a good punch. You know, I think he can win by knockout. I do. I think, you know, he might be able to hurt Barrios early and put him down and stop him, or he might be able to take him into the deep waters and drown him and stop him late after, you know, the way Gervonta Davis did, after Barrios is fatigued and out of it. Can he win by a decision? Yeah, I think he can outbox Mario Barrios and win a clean decision here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close decision either, though. What is this? What does it mean for Thurman if he wins this fight? It means everything. Thurman can continue his career where people believe that he is a top-tier welterweight. You know, Terrence Crawford said he's going to keep an eye on this fight because Crawford wants to fight Keith Thurman. If Errol Spence is dealing with Yordenis Ugas, then Crawford's going to want to deal with somebody, you know, with a big name, and Thurman's got a big name. So it's huge for Thurman if he wins this fight. It keeps the big fight potential there for him. And that's what he wants, and that's what he needs. What does it mean for Thurman if he loses? Gonna be devastating for him. It takes him off the table to lose to a guy like Mario Barrios. It takes him out of the big game fights. He probably becomes a gatekeeper type fighter after that. He takes a major step back. Hey, and he might just say, hey, I'm not on that level. I'm gonna call it quits right now. A loss would be devastating for Keith Thurman. Let's move over to the underdog now, Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, former secondary champ at 140, making his debut here at 147. He really, outside of Gervonta Davis, he's never been in the ring with anybody with the kind of experience and skill that Keith Thurman has. So this is going to be a tough one. He's coming off that loss to Davis where he got broken down and stopped late. But the fact that he's fighting Thurman shows that he's hungry, and I like that. You know, and he wants to make an impact at 147 right now, and that's a good thing. What kind of style does he need to have to win this fight? To be honest, I think Mario Barrios needs to get in there and go after Keith Thurman, but not completely leave himself open and wear himself out, because as you saw, he got tired against Barrios. Mario Barrios got tired against Gervonta Davis, and that's what led to him being stopped late in the fight. So he needs to get in there. He needs to really press Thurman, but not go for broke and throw caution to the wind. Because Thurman does have pop and he does have good ability. He can catch Barrios with one shot and it could be all she wrote. But I think he needs to get in there and really wear down Keith Thurman's body. That needs to be first half of the fight. It should be the body. When the head's there, take advantage of it. But he needs to start with the body and go and attack the body. That's what I think Mario Barrios needs to do to win this fight. Take Keith Thurman into the second half of the fight, wear him out, and stop him. That's what he needs to do. Can Barrios win by knockout? I absolutely believe he can. One punch power, you know, you catch any guy at the right moment, yeah. But Thurman usually has had a pretty good chin in his career. He's faced some heavy hitters. But I believe he can win by knockout if he takes Thurman into the deep waters and really beats him up and pounds on him and takes advantage of the ring rust that Thurman's probably going to have some. And I think he needs to learn that Thurman, a couple times in his career, has been hurt badly with body shots. Luis Collazo almost folded Thurman in half with that body shot years ago. And then the body shot that he took against Josecito Lopez was devastating. He almost went down from that. So people need to take advantage of Thurman coming off of all this time off. Barrios needs to attack that body. Then he can win by knockout if he does that. I believe he can. Can he win by a decision? It's going to be tough because Thurman's a good boxer, but if he can just pound on Thurman and really take advantage of him and Thurman doesn't have an answer, can't keep him off, I believe he can win a decision. Okay. What does a win for Mario Barrios over Keith Thurman mean? for Barrios. It's going to mean the world. It'll be by far his biggest win. Barrios will become a player at 147, and he can shake off that loss to Gervonta Davis. And he can say, hey, I'm a player here at 147 now. PBC has all the big dogs, and Barrios can really, really put his foot on the gas pedal at 147 with a win. What does it mean for him if he loses to Keith Thurman? It's gonna hurt him. It's gonna be back-to-back losses, but Barrios is young enough to where how he loses is gonna matter. Because remember, fought his ass off against Gervonta Davis, who many people are projecting to be a very big future star. He's a star now. So, the fact that he went toe-to-toe with him, it was a really good fight. That meant a lot for Barrios' career and his confidence. To do that again, to have a good performance and just lose, he could say, hey, look, I'm not there yet, but I'm still building. But if he goes out there and gets his ass whipped, it's going to be a harder build. It really is, especially Thurman coming off a 2.5-year layoff, because no matter how he looks, people are going to say Thurman was out for 2.5 years. That's always going to be a knock in this fight, and it's going to work against him. So he really needs to do his best to make this fight close, no matter what the outcome is. Now, is it better for boxing if Keith Thurman wins or if Mario Barrios wins? And in all honesty, it's better for boxing if Keith Thurman wins. Keith Thurman is a name. He has the name. And a win leads him to, another name opponent. Terrence Crawford, most likely. Or Errol Spence, or your Dennis Ugas. He becomes a player in a pool of other names, like Crawford and Ugas. He becomes a serious player right there at the top of the division, and Errol Spence. And, even though Jaron Ennis is there, not a lot of people know him the way they know Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman's a big name. So it's better for boxing if Thurman wins. But I wouldn't say it's completely bad for a guy like Mario Barrios to attach his star to a Keith Thurman win. If he can do that, he comes out of the shadows and he becomes a legitimate guy with a fun style that people want to see. So it's not bad for boxing either if Barrios wins, but it's just better if Thurman wins. Now, my final prediction. Who do I think is going to win the fight between Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios when they collide on February 5th? And, I really think Mario Barrios is a live underdog, considering especially that Thurman hasn't fought in 2.5 years. I believe that Barrios can get in there and really dig deep and put a pounding on Keith Thurman and take him to deep waters in the late in the fight and stop him. But I have to believe that Thurman took on an opponent like Mario Barrios for a reason. A young, scrappy kid took him on for a reason. Keith Thurman is hungry. He likes a challenge. And if we learned anything from the fight with Pacquiao, is that, hey, he, even in the face of defeat, he's going to stand in there and fight. He's a fighter. Does he still have that passion? Can his body still hold up at his age now? I believe he's like 33. We're going to see. But I think Thurman is going to go in there. I think he's going to pile up the rounds early, and he's going to land his shots. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if he stopped Barrios, but I think he's just going to control the action, get those rounds in, shake out the rust, and get a clean 12-round unanimous decision. Could be close. Again, I think it can end by knockout on either side, but it's going to be interesting, and I think he wins this fight and keeps himself in line for a big fight, hopefully with Terrence Crawford later on, maybe in the summer. So that's it. That's my prediction on this fight. Again, I believe Mario Barrios is a very live underdog. Don't count him out. But I'm picking Keith, one-time Thurman, to defeat Mario Barrios and bounce back into the welterweight mix and show everybody that he's still a player here. So we'll see what happens, and that's what I got. That's my breakdown video for Thurman versus Mario Barrios. That fight takes place Saturday, February 5th on FOX PPV. Remember, go check out the undercard. It's going to be good, and see if you want to pay $75 for the whole thing, because collectively it might be worth it. And put it this way, if I have the money, I'll buy it. So, anyways, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown video. True Boxing, you've been here with the truth.